It's November 22nd, 2023, and you're watching the CivEccly Minded podcast. Well, tomorrow's the big day. Moms, grandmas, amateurs, and professional chefs alike are all prepping for Thanksgiving. And no, I'm not actually cosplaying. You see, after I went to Bible college, I spent a little time in culinary school. I had already worked in the restaurant industry in high school and a little bit in college. I enjoyed the fast-paced nature of it and the interaction with people. I'm pretty much an extrovert, so it was a fit for me. I also was completely unsure of what I wanted to do with my life now that I was out of college. I had a couple of ideas and they had all kind of blown up in my face. So a few of my friends said, "Man, why don't you go to culinary school? You love to cook and you've had that experience." So I jumped at the chance. And, as they say, the rest is history. If you stick with me through this video and hit that like and subscribe button, and maybe think about sharing it with someone else, I've got a special bonus chef's tip for you at the end. You see, after spending some time getting training, I would go on to work in every aspect of the restaurant world. I would work in the front of the house, the back of the house. I'd go into management. I owned a catering business. I even actually worked as a consultant for menu development for a prison system. I had great experiences. But as any chef will tell you, we get pretty good at adapting to various kitchen environments. I've cooked on electric, induction, gas, open flame. I've been in industrial, professional kitchens, and of course, home kitchens. But the one thing every chef will insist upon, however, wherever they're cooking, is their own knives. We take a lot of pride in our cutlery and we spend a great deal of time and money acquiring the tools and the necessary skills to be proficient. We're so passionate about this that we travel with these essential tools in what's known as a knife roll, or sometimes called a chef's roll. This one here is mine. Now, it's not my original one. That one was cheap and it wore out over time. But it's not dissimilar to this. And inside this roll, you'll find my 10-inch chef's knife, a paring knife, usually a microplane, a peeler, a plating spoon, and the two most essential tools for any serious chef. But we'll get back to that in a minute. Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another." Now, the obvious low-hanging fruit of that passage was something that I think I understood even back as a young man. I mean, basically, spend time with other men and it'll sharpen you, I guess. But recently, the Lord showed me a much deeper application of this proverb. You see, back in October, I was at the Fight, Laugh, Feast conference in Kentucky at the Ark Encounter, and one morning during my devotions, this familiar passage came up, and I was reading through it again, and like a bolt of lightning, God made me recall those two most essential tools in a knife roll kit. You see, the first is a sharpening steel. It's a carbon steel rod, and it doesn't really do much sharpening exactly, but it does bring the blade back into a straighter shape and it knocks off any imperfections and burrs so that you can more effectively and efficiently use the second tool. This is my whetstone. It has a coarse side and a fine side of grit, and it's the tool that's really going to bring your knife back to that razor sharp edge you need. You see, blades take damage over time and use, and if not properly maintained, they won't be much good to anyone. And any chef will tell you that a dull knife is far more dangerous than a good sharp one, because the bluntness of a dull blade tends to mash and tear instead of slice. It's why surgeons use scalpels and not butter knives. So, as I thought more about this new, deeper application of Proverbs 27:17, it made me reflect on my own relationships with men in my life. And I was instantly amazed to see how some of them have been sharpening steels for me. They've been knocking burrs and rough edges off, while others acted as whetstones, sharpening and honing my edge, as if for surgery or battle. And I'm pretty sure that I've acted in both capacities over the years for other men as well. And I have to admit, that was an encouraging thought. You see, knowing that God cares enough about us to continue to sharpen us and even put those people in our lives that will act as grit, well, that's a comfort. It means he's not done with us, or he's not putting us in the utility drawer never to be used again. It means that we have more important work to do, and Well, we better, like all those excited folks I talked about at the beginning, we better get back to prepping for the big feast. Here's that bonus I promised you. If you're watching this and you're married, well, your spouse will be both sharpening steel and whetstone for you over the years. Of course, this can be challenging because sometimes we just want to be lazy and dull. But God loves us too much to allow for that, and He provides us an opportunity to sharpen right there at home. You know, Proverbs 18:22 says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord." Oh, P.S. Your kids are going to be another one. God bless you all. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you again soon on the Civically Minded podcast.